how did you feel about such an important historical incident as the Cuban Missile Crisis being appropriated to this movie? And perhaps I would also have going on from that, whether there are any other moments in 20th century history that could have also had this kind of mutant element.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a. I think it could go. I think it could go two ways, right? It could be kind of silly, you know, and you sort of go, I mean, why are you using that piece of history? But it's handled very, very well, very compelling, in a compelling kind of way. And I don't, you know, there's a lot of things that are historically inaccurate when it comes to making films and writing books and putting on television shows. I mean, that's basically what we do. If you want to see real history, watch a documentary. I mean, I think that if nothing else, if a kid sees it who has absolutely no idea about this time in American history and world history, where you had a Cold War, and you had this kind of battle between, you know, democracy and communism and the USSR and the whole thing, maybe it could inspire some, you know, further research into what actually did happen. So that would be a nice side of it.
There was a movie when I was a kid called Young Einstein, and it was about Einstein in Tasmania, right? And it was a total comedy, weird, wacky film, and I loved it. I knew nothing about Einstein before this. I didn't know who he was, didn't know what he did. And I did find out about Einstein after that. I was shocked and dismayed to find out that he wasn't a farmhand who invented the electric violin in Tasmania. But I did actually learn about Einstein, and I did find out afterwards about the theory of relativity, and that was kind of crazy. But I think it was 6 at the time.
And also, I think, like, just outside of children, I think, you know, adults as well. I mean, you know, I wasn't around in that period of time, but my parents were. And there was something very interesting going on in the world at that time, where everybody was unsure. There was a real sense of anxiety. People were building bunkers outside their houses. They were stocking up for 3 years' worth of canned goods. And nobody really knows the intrigue, how close we actually got to nuclear war at that point, and what happened behind the scenes, what actually, you know, was going on. And I think there's a mystery around that, which is definitely there to be exploited.
The narrative manipulation history is something that we've been doing for ages in storytelling anyway. I mean, like, Father Alarm, you know what I mean? It's a great example of it. I don't know, it just seems like something we've been doing a hell of a lot, and we've done it for a long time. I don't know, it really appeals to the idea that maybe there was other stuff going on.
It's going to be Watergate then, it's going to be
Well, I think
coming up for me.
Watergate is vaguely influencing compared to what's going on in the world today. You know?
I mean, I don't think, you know, you wouldn't want it to be a gimmick. I think, you know, it was a terrific idea that Flemyng came up with to use that political backdrop, and it fitted in perfectly, but I don't think you'd ever want to shoehorn
the mutant miners' strike. Martha Starling and Thatcher.
I'd love to see that film. Jason, I'll just keep you talking for a bit. You've worked with Matthew since before you get to me. Quiet. I like it.
Sorry, go on.
How's Matthew? This is his first big Hollywood film. Did his working methods change at all in this?
I don't think his methods have changed. I mean, like Jane gets said, Matthew's not very nomadic, and he has a team of people who fluctuate through his movies. Unfortunately, I've done them all because I'm always available, and who seems to be a bit more selective. His working method stays the same. It's an amazing thing to go on a movie this big and look out from the stage and see the same sound boys from Lock, Stock, and some of the costume people from Lock, Stock, and to sort of plot that thing all the way through it's amazing. And he likes to work in shorthand. Basically, the truth is that I was cast so that when he got annoyed with this lot and couldn't say anything, he could turn to me and go, "Flemyng, you're an idiot!" And that was my sort of job. I just took the abuse that he wanted to find. But no, his method of working hasn't changed. No, he's got great taste and casts well, and that's the sort of basis of what he does. And, well, you've seen the results. So he's managed to change genre and he's still kind of nailed it each time. I think, you know, that's been quite brave about doing that.
We've got time for a couple more questions. So jumping here in the second row.
My question's for both Jim and Michael. In the movie, there's some, you know, lovely, subtle kind of 60s Bond reference and imagery, and even, you know, Matthew has refers to that as being intentional. But following on from that, I'm wondering, do you have even aware of the fact that both of you are reportedly the front runners for the next Bond and the great
As am I.
He told me he really wants to do it.
Yeah. You told me that too.
I told you that after you told me. Yeah, we were keen at the time. I'll take myself into the running for it immediately. I think this guy does a great job of being that type of figure, but for me in this film, that was never really my remit. So, yeah, who do you have to say? Yourself.
Ditto.
Ditto.
No, you know, I mean, it's very flattering, of course, and you know, Matthew had sort of mentioned it in some of the earlier meetings that that was kind of, you know, it evoked a lot of memories for him for those early sort of Bond films. But for me, sort of in terms of approaching, you know, the character of Eric, I didn't really go down that route. I mean, they dressed me up in clothes that were pretty cool, bespoke suits, and you know, hark back to those sort of early Bond films. But I really just sort of approached it through the sort of material that was available in the comic books. And in terms of sort of, you know, what do I expect or hope for the future, I never try and plan anything, I never expect anything. I think Daniel's doing a fantastic job. And let's just deal with this film at the moment and see how that does.
Okay, a couple more questions now. There's a lady in the front row.
Hi, pretty generic question, but if you could trade superpowers with someone else in the film, what would it be? Or alternatively, what can you imagine the worst power would be to have?
The power to control lead pencil to
Well, here comes Beast.
We were talking about Oyster Road. You could charge up your Oyster card by just...
Or what was it that you sort of had OCD mutant powers?
Oh,
It was everything in sort of alphabetical order.
You could look at your DVD collection and automatically rearrange it. They were pretty lame powers.
Okay. Let's go right back to the third row.
James and Michael, as two somewhat private people, do you worry about how this is going to ratchet up your fame? And then a trivia question for all the male members. How is it possible to act opposite January Jones's cleavage?
I had to rugby tackle January Jones's cleavage with you.
That's right. You took the cleavage right to the bottom.
I was actually, if you watch the film, it's the other way around.
Okay. I always wonder one or the other.
Yeah, you were knocked out shortly after.
I mean, well, you know, to be honest with you, I mean, you know, you try not to sort of, you know, make her feel uncomfortable. You know, it's a difficult scenario for her. She's dressed there in skimpy clothes, and obviously, you know, there is a plethora of sort of fans out there that, you know, get all excited at the prospect of it. So, you know, you're there working with her as a professional. You know, it wouldn't do well if you brought that sort of giddiness into the room.
I was going to say it.
Yeah.
How can you not?
And in terms of the fame quotient as private people, do you worry about this is going to put you right on the map?
Oh, I don't. I mean, people have been saying that to me since I did Narnia, and it never seemed. I've been recognised in the street probably 10 times since then. So it never really worries me, that stuff.
It's only when you're out there in your phone legs and stuff.
When you know, I go to stand outside the school gates and they go, "You recognise me from my key audience."
He brings his own lamppost.
And you go, "That's so strange."
Yeah, it does. But no, I mean, it's what can you do? I mean, you know, I don't think. Hopefully, it's not going to change anything. You know, regarding sort of my everyday life, and I don't think it really sort of has to. I mean, you know, I was lucky enough to sort of work with Viggo Mortensen last year in the summer, and we walked all around Vienna. And, I mean, he was part of one of the biggest franchises in the world. So, you know, it's like I can't really sort of answer it until I'm confronted with it. But so far, it hasn't been a problem. That's for sure.